welcome to Daydreams of Quilts on YouTube. Today I'm starting a new project. It's the Kimberbell O Canada bench pillow. This pattern came out in 2014, I believe, and I just haven't had a chance to make it. Now that we can't have our Canada Day celebrations this year, I thought it would be nice to have a little bit more around the house to celebrate Canada Day and sort of make a little bit of a celebration at home. So if anyone else wants to sew along with me and make this for Canada Day, you can get this pattern from Studio 39 Fabrics at studio39fabrics.com, and I'll put a link in the description below, and you can sew along with me. So the first thing you're going to do is get all your cutting done, and once you've got your pieces cut out from the pattern instructions, we're just going to lay them out in 3 rows of 6 strips and sew those together. And we just want to mix up our prints so they're not all in the same order in the strips. And I'm using I think it's called True North. It's by Kate and Birdie for Moda, and I'm gonna use that line because I have some leftover fat quarters from another project. I think there's another like round 2 of that line coming out this year. If anybody knows of a Canadian shop that's bringing that in, let me know because I want to get some more. So just leave me a comment below and tell me if you know who's ordering that line in. Anyway, I'm going to get these all organized into 3 rows of 6 strips. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with this layout. I'm going to go and sew them all together with a 1/4 inch seam and press them, and then we'll be ready to cut them apart. Okay, so I have them all sewn together, and I'm going to now cut them each section into 2 strips according to the measurements in the pattern. I'm just going to get a straight edge here. Okay. So we'll do that with all 3 sections, and then we'll be ready to put them back together for the pillow top. Okay, so you can arrange them any way you like, and you can turn them around, but mine have directional fabrics with these little canoes and mountains, so I can't really flip mine upside down for my pillow, but I'll just put them like this. See how I like it. I don't like that these 2 are side by side, so maybe I'll mix that. Try and get them so there's no 2 fabrics exactly the same side by side. Okay, and then I will sew those together and we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so I've got my strips, my patchwork sides all sewn together, and I'm now going to attach them to the middle section of the pillow. This makes a very large pillow. Okay, so now I've got the whole pillow top put together. I've pressed my seams towards the red strips on the back, and I'm ready to start the applique. So what I'm using for my fusible is Heat and Bond Light. And I have a whole scrap bag, grocery bag full of scraps from other projects. So that's what I'm using for tracing. But basically, if you haven't seen this before, it's shiny on one side and paper on the other. So you're going to put the shiny side down against your pattern and trace with a pencil the applique shapes. And you don't even need to put this up on a window because these lines on this pattern are nice and thick, so you can see what you're doing and you can trace just right over the pattern piece. And for the words, they're already reversed. So again, you don't have to reverse it and put it backwards on a window. You can just put it down on your work surface and trace. So once you have those traced, you are ready to start ironing the fusible to the fabric for applique. So when you have it all traced out with your pencil, don't mind my wrinkly, it was in my scrap bag. We're just going to cut around the shapes, but not cut right on the lines, because we're going to need those lines after we iron this down to the back of our applique fabric. But just cut around the shapes so that you can still see your pencil lines, but you don't have as much fusible all around them, so you don't waste fabric. And then once you have them all cut out, you can go ahead and fuse them to the back of your applique fabric. And I have an old iron here that doesn't steam anymore. But if you have an iron where you can turn the steam off, that's great too. You just don't want to use steam for this first round of ironing. Okay, so when your iron is hot, you're just going to put your applique fabric right side down on your pressing board or your ironing board. I have a pressing board here. And then you're going to take your traced out designs and put them on the wrong side. So the sticky side, the shiny side, is going to go down onto the back of your fabric, onto the wrong side of your fabric. So the right side is against the mat, and the shiny side of the fusible is face down and the paper is face up. And then you're just going to glide the iron over the paper. You don't want to hold it too long, but you want to hold it long enough that this sticks. Okay, so you can just test the edges and make sure they're stuck down. I'll do these maple leaves as well. And it's usually recommended that you put a pressing sheet or a pressing cloth over this so that you don't accidentally get sticky fusible on your iron. But I always skip that step. Okay, so now these are ready to cut out. So we're going to cut out with paper scissors because this is paper. So you don't want to use your good sewing shears for this. And you're just going to cut right on or just to the outside of those pencil lines to get your applique shapes all cut out. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the word Canada cut out. Now for this part here, the little parts inside the letters, you're gonna need to cut a little slit. So just fold your fabric and just carefully cut a slit right in the middle. And then you can stick your blade in and start cutting these little interior shapes out. So we'll get all of our applique fusible pieces fused to their fabric and cut out. And then we'll come back in the next video and we'll start putting our pillow embellishments on, and I'll go over adding the pinwheels and the rickrack and starting our embroidery. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos.